Welcome to Bible Time with Aunt Kat. Today we're going to talk about trusting in the Lord. Do you know what it means to trust? It means to have faith in, to believe, to know for certain that they're not going to fail you, that they know best for what you're going to do. So, I've got something to show you. Do you trust that this paper bag will hold some of this water? Do you think it will? Let's say this is the world and all the people in the world who don't follow God and don't obey Him. And if we put our trust in them, well, look, it's already beginning to leak out, isn't it? It's not holding, it's leaking at the bottom. And if we put the least bit amount of pressure on it, whoa, there goes the water. Yeah, we can't put our trust in the world and in other people because they're going to let us down. They'll make mistakes, and people and the world doesn't always do what God wants. But what about if I put my water in the bag, the plastic bag? Okay, let's try this one. Do you trust that this bag will hold water? This is like putting our trust in God. Okay. There we go. And let's zip it up good and tight because I really don't want to get splashed. Okay. There, yeah, it's holding tight. Just like we can always trust God, can't we? He always knows what's best, and He's always going to lead us down the right path. But what about when bad things happen? When you get sick, or your dad loses his job, or somebody is bullying you. Look at that. Even then, our trust in God doesn't leak out because God is with us in all those situations. Yeah, He's with us, helping us and giving us courage and strength and guiding us to know the right thing to do. And we can count on our trust in God, but we can't lean on our own understanding. Look at my understanding. My way of thinking is all wet, isn't it? Well, I have a verse that I want to teach you, and we're going to talk about someone in the Bible who really had to learn to trust in God and not lean on his own understanding. And the verse is Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And this is the way that I remember it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. And lean not on your own understanding. And lean not on your own understanding. See, if you lean when you do it, it helps you remember it. So we want to trust in the Lord with all of our heart and not trust what we think is best. It's like if your mom says that when it's time for supper, you think the best thing for supper would be 3 big bowls of chocolate ice cream. Now that sounds good to me, but Mom knows that that would give me a bellyache. So she's not going to give me that 3 bowls of ice cream. So I have to trust Mom, that Mom knows best for me. With the same way, we have to trust God. If your dad got a job offer in another city where they give him a lot more money, you might think, hey, that's a good deal. We need to go there. But God knows that there aren't as many Christians in that city for you to grow up with, and for good kids for you to be with that will help you to grow in the kind of person that He wants you to be. So God may say no to that job for your dad. Well, there's a man in the Bible who thought what God was asking him did not make a lot of sense, but he trusted Him anyway. And his name was Ananias. Now, this isn't the Ananias we talked about before that lied to Peter about how much money he had sold his property for. This is a different Ananias. But the story really begins, or the lesson really begins in the Bible, in the book of Acts in chapter 9. There's a man called Saul. And later on, he would be called Paul and become the Apostle Paul. But at this time, he was going around gathering up as many Christians as he could and putting them in jail and having them beaten with rods and all kind of things, because he thought that they were teaching wrong, and he thought he was doing what God wanted. Well, one day he was on his way to a city to gather up a bunch of Christians and take them back and put them in jail. And he was walking along, and all of a sudden he saw a bright light. And God said, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? He's saying, why are you doing these bad things to my people? And Saul said, well, who is this? And what do you want me to do, Lord? And he said, I want you to go to the city, and there's a man there that will tell you what to do. Saul couldn't see a thing after that for 3 whole days. They had to lead him into the city. Well, meanwhile, this man Ananias was in the city, and God told him, I want you to get up and go to Straight Street and ask at the house of a man named Judas. Again, that's not the Judas that was Jesus' disciple, but a man named Judas, and ask for Saul from Tarsus, and because he's praying, and he has had a vision. I sent him a vision that you're going to come and tell him what he needs to do. And Ananias said, Lord, are you really sure you want me to do that? This man has been putting people in jail right and left, and he has the authority to take all of us and put us in jail who trust you and are obeying you. And the Lord said, go, because he is chosen by me to teach many, many people about me and about my church. And so Ananias trusted God, and he went. I imagine that took a lot of trust and a lot of courage for him to go and stand face to face with Saul. But he did. And when he healed him of his blindness through God's help, and he told him what to do to be saved, and Saul was baptized and became a Christian. And he taught many, many, many people about God. And we read a lot of what he wrote in the Bible. And we're going to talk some more about him in another lesson. But right now, I want you to remember, you can always trust God, right? Even when it doesn't look possible. So what was the verse we want to remember? Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. So let's do it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And lean not on your own understanding. Let's do it again. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. And lean not on your own understanding. And lean not on your own understanding. Let's see if we can say it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3:5. That's it for now, and stay tuned. We'll have more Bible time with Aunt Kat.